Have you been obsessed with this skirt ever since you saw it? Me too. Just in case you said yes. So today I'm going to be attempting to make the bubble skirt because I've really been wanting it for such a long time and summer is upon us. So it's about time. Hi, welcome and welcome back my loves. I'm Ruvie, and if you love fashion and sewing and a sprinkle of lifestyle, go ahead and subscribe. Let's get started with today's tutorial. Welcome to my studio. It's the living room. So we're going to need to be making the bubble skirt pattern. So I did look up how I can make a semicircle pattern. So that's what we're going to be doing now. Yeah. So firstly, you're going to need to measure your waist, where you want the bubble skirt to sit. Our mine do like kind of low-waisted. And 30.5. And then we're going to do some math. We're going to start by making our pattern, and we're going to be using our radius that we calculated. I rounded mine off to 10, so we are going to mark that down on this pattern in this way as I'm doing in the video. I could break a leg trying to explain to you guys what I'm doing because I had to look up a video to do it, so just see what I'm doing. Now that we have marked our radius on the paper, we're gonna connect the dots with a French curve. I'm using this one that I got from a set for my engineering graphic design classes that I took in high school. I've come to realize that a lot of like graphic design and sewing tools are quite similar, so it does a job wonderfully. You can also get this at like a fabric store as well, where you know you can get tools. Now we're going to mark down the length of our skirts. I chose 12. I should have made it longer. So the same technique as we did for the first line, we're just going to repeat that for the second line. This is going to be the end of our skirt. So you can either do it from the corner point of the whole pattern paper or do it like I'm doing, using the first line as a guide to do the second line. Now we're going to cut out our pattern and we are ready to cut our fabric. By the way, this pattern is called a half circle skirt pattern, so it can also be used in other different projects as well. So now we're going to lay our fabric down for cutting, making sure that one side is folded. Now placing our pattern onto our fabric, we're going to make sure that the straight lines are aligned with the straight lines of the fabric, making sure that one of the sides is on fold. And now while we're cutting out, make sure you leave a bit of seam allowance because I did not include seam allowance in my pattern. You can also include yours in your pattern. After cutting, this is what you have, and you're going to need 2 pieces of this. Now we're going to cut our lining for the skirt. You're going to take your waist measurement divided by 4, and then with your fabric on fold, you're going to mark that measurement down. And I suggest leaving about 1 inch or 2 extra on the lining as well, because we're going to be using elastic for the waistband. And then you're going to mark down your length of the skirt. And then for the bottom, you're going to measure about 3 more inches onto your waist measurement, and you're going to mark that down. And then connect the side line, and then also connect the bottom line and cut out your lining piece. You'll also be cutting out 2 pieces of the lining. So the lining pieces, I noticed that they are a little too small. This one is literally touching to my side. So the second one, I made it a bit too big so that it accommodates for the smaller one. Onto assembling our skirt, we're going to start with the lining pieces. We're going to take them right sides touching and then sew the side seams together. For the waistband, we're going to be using elastic. So you're going to measure your waist. You can just literally take the elastic and put it around your waist where it sits comfortably and cut it there. So now we're going to close off the end and then sew the seam down. Now we're going to take our lining piece and fold it in half to locate our center points, and you're just going to nib a little bit of the fabric with the scissors. And I also had to mark down my side seams because the front panel and the back panel were not the same size, but if yours are the same size, your side seams will be your side markings. Now we're going to grab our elastic and we're going to pin it down to the skirt on the inside of the skirt. Now we're going to sew our elastic onto the top of the lining. Make sure that you are stretching out your elastic so that it fits onto the fabric while you're sewing. This is how the elastic waist is looking on our lining piece. Now we're going to go sew for the outside part of the skirt. We're going to take our 2 half circles and again lay them right sides touching and sew the side seams together. Now we're going to sew a loose stitch around the bottom of the skirt and the top of the skirt. On my machine, I used my stitch with the tension on 5 because it's an industrial machine. I don't really know the settings for a domestic one. So you're going to just do a simple top straight stitch around the bottom and the top. After making our straight stitches, we're gonna start gathering the fabric. So you're just gonna pull one end of the thread of the stitches and just pull it in. The top part of the skirt, you're gonna gather the fabric until it's the same size as the waist of our lining, and for the bottom you're gonna do the same until it's the same length of the bottom of the lining. So to make sure that my gathers don't come loose while I'm adjusting the fabric, I tie the top stitches thread with the bottom stitches thread together so that it does not move. Okay, fine, we're fine. Now I'm pinning the outside skirt and the lining together, making sure that the side seams are aligning. As I was sitting there, I was rethinking my whole life choices of, do I really need this skirt for summer? Do I really need to look like a bubble? Is it worth the pain of me gathering all this fabric and trying to not break the thread while I'm doing that? Sigh. I sighed. After gathering the bottom part of the skirt, we're also going to align it with our lining bottom part of the skirt and then pin it together, making sure that the side seams of the skirts are aligned as well. Now we're going to sew the bottom part together. After that, we're gonna turn the skirt inside out to the right sides. So I was really debating with myself how I'm going to close off the top of the skirt, and I do not know how to make scrunchies. If I did, maybe I would have done this a better job. So for myself sanity, we are just going to fold in the gathered part of the skirt and then put it together with the lining and do a top stitch. That's how we're going to close this thing, because yeah, let's be sane.